Wake Up with Jim and Sab is exclusively on Spotify.
And if you want to start your own podcast, you can check out anchor.fm.
If you love the pod and you want to support us, make sure you follow us on Spotify. Also, you can tag us on Instagram and Twitter at Wake Up with Jim and Sab. Welcome to the Wake Up with Jim and Sab podcast. We forgot to do the intro, therefore it's just me who's doing the Welcome to the Wake Up with Jim and Sab podcast. Just wanted to let you guys know that the Linya Linya Tarantadong Kalbo collab, yung tumindig, we now have a pink edition. It's available for pre-order at linyalinya.ph. COD not applicable for pre-orders. Proceeds will go to Bayanihan Eskwela Community Learning Hubs. But by the time you've listened to this podcast, baka ubos na yung pre-order slots. But since you are a pod kid, I'm letting you know that we're gonna open up another window for pre-orders. So make sure that you follow us at Wake Up with Jim and Sab on Instagram. Now, the show. So good morning. I actually love the fact that we're recording during the morning.
Yeah, none of our guests ever do that.
Yeah, and it's called Wake Up with Jim and Sab. So,
Yes.
Hi. Nakakatawa. I was reading through your CVs. Tapos sabi ko, grabe talaga. Well, we've always known na grabe talaga itong mga Robredo girls. Like, they're so accomplished and whatever. Parang, so, may I know, kasi I just base it on Instagram. Pero, so, Aika, you're currently, so, after Harvard, you went into government ba? Or,
No, development work. So, right now, yung ginagawa ko, I run a microfinance NGO. So, mas disaster, livelihood recovery, development space. Medyo similar siya sa work ko before na disaster-related, pero sa NGO side.
Good.
okay. All right.
Okay. What we do matters.
Tricia, I'll call you Patty because close na tayo.
Risyo talaga siya. Ako lang yata yung tumatawag sa kanyang Patty, I think.
Okay. Tricia, you are a doctor.
Yes. Sometimes I forget, but yes.
You are a doctor but while you were taking up med ba, you were also a courtside reporter?
Yes, I was in first year medicine. Ayun, nagko-courtside pa ako for ABS at the time.
Oh, wow.
And then, after that, kasi may maximum contract lang yung mga courtsides of 2 years. But after that, they absorbed me naman to write sa digital space nila. Pero ayun, konting racket lang kasi mahirap na yung buhay. Kailangan din umipon-ipon ng kaunti. So
Hey,
ayun.
a lot of very respectable women were courtside reporters first, diba? Sino ba mga Patty Laurel, Andy Manzano? Sorry, just name drop,
sorry.
dropping some courtside reporters. Now I can name drop Tricia Robredo.
Tapos nakakatawa, si Jillian, I saw the only thing I saw before was Pisay siya. There's so there's this whole parang kasi in Ateneo parang there was like this weird parang we thought that Pisay was like heaven. Parang if someone moved to Pisay from Ateneo, like, oh my God,
he crossed the threshold.
Parang, he's gonna have a great life. Ganon yung feeling. So, but after that, you are finishing up your master's, right?
So now I'm a senior college in NYU. So gabi dito ngayon, nasa New York ako. So
Ayoko na.
senior ako ngayon sa...
Okay na. Off na natin to. Oh my gosh, you're a
You're in New
senior
York pala. Okay.
student
Yeah,
in
kaya yung
NYU.
lagi lang naming common times, it's either morning sa Manila or gabi sa Manila, tapos morning sa akin. Kaya sorry kung maaga kayo nagising today.
No, okay lang. I mean,
We have children. We're
Yeah.
up at 5 a.m.
I already worked out and everything, had my coffee. Yeah. So, I'm a morning person. So,
Nakikip-
are you guys morning people? What time do you
Yes.
guys wake up? I'm sure you are
Yeah.
because you get so
Gosh.
much accomplished so early. sana all. Sorry,
Ako
I'm throwing
wala.
shade so
Grabe.
early.
Ako
Have you...
mga 4:30 ako gumigising.
Wow. Have
Pero
you...
unintentional siya. Parang nasanay lang ako gumising during the pandemic early. So parang it's my quiet time. The most peaceful time of the day. The 4:30 to until mga 6.
Have you always been like this kahit siguro mga grade school kayo or high school, as in striving for excellence, mga ganyan? Like what made you want to like wake up, do really well in school? What was it?
I think, yung quiet time ni Ate Ike, siguro the time na hindi pa ako gising para istorbohin siya. But, when you were growing up kasi, the three of us, we were into sports talaga. We all swam at one point. So, yung training namin nun was at 4 in the morning. So, we had morning training and then we had afternoon training. So, we got used to waking up very early kasi alam mo naman si Mama did not want to miss like a swim practice at all. Mas akala mo siya yung atleta na bawal talaga tayo mag-miss ng training. So we were up relatively early talaga growing up. And I think, masaya mag-gising ng maaga eh. So,
Totoo.
ngayon na mas matanda kami, I think yun din yung isa mga na carry over. So,
Wow, so tama nga si Jim na we should get our kids into sports. Because it builds discipline.
Yeah.
Wala lang.
Yeah.
I've always been like, wag na. Pero I see the value in it now. Okay, so you guys quit swimming, I guess. Okay. Pero what made you get into your specific fields right now? Aika.
Yeah. No, ako kasi pagbalik ko after grad school, the only definite thing for me at that time was I knew I was gonna come back to Manila. Pero hindi ko pa alam what I was going to do. It just so happened na parang I was asked if I can set up the NGO. Kasi at that time, parang attached project pa siya sa isa pang parang bigger organization. So, yung una parang temporary arrangement siya na, sige, can we hire you to just set it up, run it, etc. But that was in 2018. Tapos parang nag-end up kasi na marami pa siyang potential to do other projects and to expand. And especially ngayon na parang pandemic, mas nag-make sense din yung work kasi it's disaster response and recovery. So parang wala pang, I don't know, I guess nagkataon lang na it was I think for most of us, yung opportunities kasi that come, it wasn't really something na talagang plinano or hinabol. Parang timing siya na parang yung feeling namin we were led to where we are. Parang nag-end up lang na nandun kami. So far okay pa naman. Yung mga kapatid ko, I guess they have their other stories kung paano sila nag-end up dyan. I think si Tricia yung pinakaiba.
Pagiging doctor.
Yeah. Yung sa akin naman actually, mahaba siyang kwento. Hindi, joke. Pero parang, when I was applying to Ateneo for college, naalala ko, I really wanted to go to Ateneo kasi na-brainwash ako ni ate. So when I was growing up, she'd ask me to watch UAP basketball games with her. So, parang sabi ko, shucks, gusto ko talaga mag-Ateneo because of the school spirit. So, I knew I was going to Ateneo but I didn't know kung anong gusto kong course at the time. I graduated from high school, I was mga 14, 15. So, feeling ko mangmang pa ako na di ko alam kung anong gusto ko. So, I was heavily influenced by my parents na baka gusto mo mag-medicine. At the time, di ko talaga alam kung anong gusto kong gawin. Naalala ko, dream talaga ni mama maging doktor. Pero hindi niya nagawa. So, hindi naman secret sa amin. Medyo I was forced into medicine. Because that's what she wanted for herself. And then she wanted to have a daughter na doktor. So, hindi na napilit si ate. Ako yung next in line. So, I realized later on that I actually wanted to pursue a career in writing. Saab, I read your blogs a lot growing up.
God.
But yeah, I realized that I wanted to go into journalism. Pero ayun, nasa med school na ako at the time eh. So sabi ko, hindi na ako makakaalis dito. Nag-guilty ako nun kasi yung investment sa akin ng nanay ko, yung tuition, etc. was already there. Sabi ko, sige, tapusin ko na lang. But then when I started rotating in the hospitals, doon ko nakita na gusto ko naman pala yung buhay ng pagdodoktor. So, yun nga, sabi ni ate, hindi binalak, pero binalak siguro ng nanay ko, ang galing niya, na nabalak niya. But for myself, I never really planned on becoming a doctor, but I found myself enjoying the field. So, that's why I'm here. So, yun naman yung kwento ko.
I love it.
Na parang you guys were placed, you feel like you were placed where you are, and you're would you say you're thriving in your fields or where you are?
Sana.
Thriving. I hope I am. Pero,
Trying.
for example, for me, science talaga, growing up, hindi ako magaling sa science eh. Na ang daming beses na tinatanong ko, ba't ako nandito? Ang baba ng grades ko nun sa science, talagang sabit lang ako lagi. Pero, ako kasi, yung discipline talaga eh. I think doon pumasok yung discipline na kahit harap na ako, kailangan ko tapusin kasi nandun ako. And then, I just kept pushing until I found what I loved about the field, which is yung, ako I really like patient interaction eh. Yung personal relationships yung nagustuhan ko. So, yung science part, ginagapang.
Yeah.
Pero nandito naman ako, napasa ko naman yung boards, doctor naman ako. I don't know if that's called thriving, pero I hope I am. So, pero masaya naman ako where I am.
May I know what kind of doctor you are?
Well, ngayon, primary care physician pa lang ako.
Okay.
I wanna go into I want to specialize in internal medicine eventually. Pero ayun, ang dami kasi nangyayari sa buhay namin ngayon.
Yes.
So, a lot of plans have to temporarily, alam mo yun, kailangan mo put on hold na siya for something else.
Definitely. And you guys are making such a huge sacrifice. And Jill, what about you after your NYU stint?
Yeah.
Which is a full scholarship, by the way.
It's a full scholarship.
Yes.
And
Oh
I have
my
like an
gosh.
on-campus job para wala na rin akong allowance galing kay mama. So,
Child beg. Grabe.
So
Okay,
I think,
okay.
graduating na ako this May 2022. So sakto after elections, my graduation na rin. May full-time job offer na rin ako lined up in New York. So I'll be staying for like a few more years kasi naka-student visa lang ako now, but may parang work permit extension kami. And since math and econ major ako, parang yung STEM majors dito may plus 2 years on top of the 1 year. So now, as of now, for the next 3 years, medyo yun yung medyo plano ko in life to stay muna in New York.
Aw, that's so amazing. You know what?
Wag na, ditch mo na yun. Dito ka na lang trabaho ka sa podcast namin. Can you be our child?
You know what I love? We can actually ask the three of them, especially with the pandemic. Like parang very specific, parang status updates of these very interesting fields. It's very diverse,
Yeah.
diba? So we can ask Aika, with I wanted to ask you, mag-round tape, ano ako. So si Aika, I wanted to ask, like, how bad is the disaster response? I mean, like, kasi, you know, when you're in there, diba, people have no idea. We just hear about it for us. Like, we just, pero...
We just get the texts from
Yeah.
NDR.
Parang kumbaga, how dependent is disaster response on NGOs and other private companies and whatever that to help in these disasters? Like, if you can share, like parang...
Okay. Siguro konting background. Prior to 2016, parang sometime 2014, 2016, yung work ko talaga was in NDR RMC. So may konting background ako on disaster, and at least the time that I was there, I think yung pinaka-work kasi NDRMC is a coordinating council. So supposedly, mas orderly siya eh. Parang you have different groups coming in. You have DSWD, you have different NGOs. And then the whole council, parang siya yung nagda-direct. Ito yung response ni government. Ito yung different gaps. And then, kumbaga, ito yung opportunities for you to come in and help. So siguro fast forward to today, I guess yung hinahanap ng maraming development groups ngayon is even for example, even Marawi. Maraming NGOs who want to go to Marawi and help. Pero parang naghahanap sila ng direction and minsan hindi sila makapasok. With the pandemic, at least yung small space that we occupy, all the NGOs, medyo limited din yung ability nila to help. Like kami, when we give out livelihood assistance to, say, MSMEs, kailangan member sila of some cooperatives. Kasi kailangan dahil NGO kami makabalik yung money that we loan out to them. And siguro yung gaps for me sana na, ang haba na ng sagot ko. Siguro parang ideally sana, for at least from my perspective, the government can come in dun sa mga medyo informal na naghahanap buhay kasi sila yung hindi organized. Usually pag may organization ka, may some kind of help na darating sa'yo. Kasi yung funders are looking for some, kumbaga, monitoring mechanism na okay, yung pera na binigay namin to assist, dito siya napunta sa ganito, ganyan. And yung parang outside the whole organized group, pag informal kasi pwede yung mga sometimes yung mga jeepney driver, tricycle driver, although sila may mga small units na rin, pero sila yung usually na may miss out kasi walang way to reach out to them and to give assistance. And I'm sure maraming iba pa na even outside Metro Manila na part of yung informal sector na sana yun yung makakuha ng assistance. At least yun nakikita ko from na yung pinaka sana yun yung matugunan kasi I'm sure sila rin yung pinaka nangangailangan.
Yeah. Don't you think na itong, especially with the pandemic, di ba dapat yung in charge of like this whole task force thing is someone experienced with disaster management? What are your thoughts on that?
Ideally, I think I think to be fair, I think they assigned some people naman that they appointed, I think have the experience to run it. Yung nakikita kong gap siguro and kulang sa ginagawa nila is to actually bring everyone in together and alam mo yung parang yung mga running jokes na siguro wala to sa Viber group.
Walang group chat.
Usapan nila.
Yeah.
Sometimes yung pinaka-basic na lang na, bring everyone in. I think yung recent, yung sinasabi na medyo mag-i-ease sila ng quarantine restrictions for travelers. Parang si Secretary Duque said something like he wasn't aware of the policy. So, paano yung bare minimum sana is bring everyone together, diba? Have like a unified policy and then go from there. Tingin ko dun pa lang marami na kaagad. Malaki na siguro yung difference in terms of impact and assistance.
Well, we can't blame Duque. Baka naman he was at the gym, diba? Or baka he was like
At a concert.
Or baka nag-Paris, ganun, or something, diba?
Diba?
Yeah, or baka ino-organize niya yung parang 18th birthday ng anak niya.
Oo.
Yeah, kuwawa eh.
Oo.
Kuwawa. Okay. Tricia, how are the hospitals now as of today?
Well, now it's better. Sana hindi ko ma-jinx kasi duty pa ako bukas. Pero we see less patients coming in for COVID. The last duty I had, we only had to intubate mga 1. There was a time during the surge na tuloy-tuloy siya na lahat ng tao sa ER talaga may patient na critical na tinututukan. Ang dami naming mga pasyenteng kahit sobrang mababa na yung oxygen, hindi ma-accommodate kasi wala na talagang space. Kahit oxygen tanks, wala na. It was a nightmare. Talaga. Yung mga staff namin, yung mga nurses namin, nagkakasakit na. So, parang duty siya the night. Magka-duty kami the night before. The next day, nasa tent na siya kasi kailangan niya na magpa-swab. Mga ganon. And I work in a relatively small hospital. It's not like St. Luke's. It's not like Medical City. Pero ang dami talaga yung mga waitlist namin. Mga 100 plus for a room. Nakakaawa talaga. But now, it's getting better. We see patients coming in for non-COVID concerns. So, I mean, syempre ayaw nating may tao sa ospital. But, indicator na rin na kumonte yung cases, yung pagkonti ng tao coming in for COVID. So, at least for now, yun yung nakikita namin.
Do you think that most of the time, would you agree na parang most of the time their cases become so much more severe because a simple lack of education rin? Na parang poor management at home?
Yes. Kasi naging doktor ako November of last year. So I saw two surges. The one in March, April, and the one in August. Yung napansin namin doon, marami kaming patients recently na pumupunta sa amin, lalo na nung August surge, na sumubok na sila mag-manage at home.
Yeah.
Pupunta sila sa amin very severe na. Ibig sabihin, they tried a lot of means na to take care of themselves on their own. Siyempre with the guidance of a doctor probably. Kasi ayaw talaga nang pumunta ng ospital kasi either puno na, hindi sila ma-accommodate, or takot talaga sila pumunta ng ospital. So pagdating sa amin, hala, ano nangyayari? Ilang hours na lang. Pwede ka nang mag-critical, pwede ka nang mag-expire.
Yeah.
But in terms of education, definitely, we've had a lot of patients na, damaged yung organs na because of a lot of medicines na iniinom nila na hindi dapat.
Oh no.
Like
what?
meron-
Anong meds? Like,
the popular ivermectin.
is that the wormer?
That's for the
Yeah,
horse.
that's a wormer. It's been very controversial. Pero honestly, at first, personally, naiinis ako sa mga nag-take ng ivermectin. But eventually, parang you try to understand them din. They take it because they're scared of getting COVID. Or so parang towards the end, and yung may mga nahawakan akong pasyente na kinikwento sa akin, Doc, nag-ivermectin ako. Parang you feel for them na rin na niintindihan mo ba't nila yun nainom? Kasi yun din yung sabi sa kanila. Pero mas may inis ka sa mga tao who should know better.
Yes.
Na kung ano pa rin yung sinasabi. So honestly, in a literal sense, misinformation was deadly.
Yes.
Especially for our patients na kung ano-ano yung nababasa, kung ano-ano yung naririnig. And dahil sa takot, tinitake nila siya. So malaki yung galit ng mga doktor ngayon sa mga nagsispread talaga ng kung ano-ano na hindi pa studied.
What do you think? What do you think is the rationale behind that? Di ko kasi mag-gets eh.
Well, sinasabi nila that there have been studies, etc., regarding its effectiveness. I'm sure may mga nag-aaral pa more about it. But I think yung kaya ko lang ma-explain ay yung mga taong nagtitake nung meds mismo kasi nakakausap mo sila, and when you ask them why they take it, sabihin nila, ito yung in-advise sa amin eh. And sometimes you can't really blame them. It's easy to say na dapat nagbasa ka muna or dapat nag-search ka muna sa internet. But
you would trust your doctor, right?
Yeah. And then one of the things siguro I failed to realize during the start of the pandemic and yung ivermectin pumutok is hindi naman lahat ng tao kaya mag-sift through loads of information.
Exactly.
So, there was guilt on my end when I started seeing them, and parang naramdaman ko na masyado kong na-dismiss sila in the beginning without understanding why they do what they do.
Yeah.
Pero yung inis ko ngayon mas sa mga taong tuloy pa rin mag-spread ng false information. So, ayun, medyo sad siya na nagkaabot sa ganong kondisyon. So, yeah.
Oh man. Last pala, right now in the with the cases, recent cases because of the Delta, itong mga people who are coming in, most of them are unvaccinated.
Most of them are unvaccinated. But again, dito din ako nalulungkot kasi we have this impression na yung mga unvaccinated, hindi sila nagpabakuna kasi ayaw nila. Marami akong pasyente na sinasabi nila, Doc, ang tagal na namin naghahanap ng bakuna.
Yeah.
Pero hindi talaga kami ma-accommodate. So I think one of the realizations din for me, at first I kept preaching about vaccine hesitancy, etc. But sometimes it's not the case anymore. Hindi nakapabakuna yung mga tao kasi wala talagang available eh. Or they don't have access to the vaccine. So again, that's something na ikakagalit mo na itong mga tao na to, hindi lahat. Siyempre may mga anti-vaxxers pa rin tayo. Pero yung mga tao na gusto naman talaga pero walang means eh. Hindi natatawagan ng LGU, hindi alam saan pwede mag-sign up. And I think yung last na surge, at least, ang dami naming bata na nakuha na COVID.
Oh no.
Kasi sila yung mga wala pang bakuna. So we had a lot of pediatric patients. So, nakakaawa din sila tingnan. Kasi, alam mo yung mga bata, helpless din. Di alam ko ano nangyayari. So,
Yeah, that's the
sobrang
that's the
isolated
scariest.
talaga.
That's the
Yeah.
scariest for me and Jim to think about, especially because we have our kids.
Yeah.
You know why? Parang this is such a going to Jill. Parang in New York, ano yung parang kasi it's the complete opposite, 'di ba? Like kaya ako whenever I see sa States, like parang parang you could go into a convenience store, 'di ba, and just get the vaccine. Parang
Yeah.
ganon.
So ako mas maaga ko, parang mga April, fully vaccinated na ako. Super accessible. And also may comorbidities ako, may asthma ako. So maaga ko rin siya nakuha. But now, parang yung mga tao na kahit hindi US citizens or yung mga bumibisita lang, kaya na magpabakuna, papasok lang ng CVS. Tapos may options ka pa kung Pfizer, Moderna, or J&J. As in, ando na, parang pipili ka na lang talaga kung ano. And now pa, yung mga natitira na lang na hindi nagpapabakuna, yung mga anti-vaxxers. So ang dami na ring parang rewards to be vaccinated. So parang nung isang araw nakakuha ako ng emergency alert sa phone ko na, kung hindi ka pa nagpapabakuna yung first dose mo, may bibigyan ka ng $100.
Wow.
So ikaw pa yung babayaran para magpabakuna. Which, pag naiisip ko sa atin, sobrang lungkot. Kasi pila-pila yung mga tao. Minsan, I think may nakita ako parang sa Manila, 4 a.m. pa lang, pumipila na yung iba matatanda pa. So, sobrang nakakaawa talaga tingnan. And ako ngayon, lahat ng classes ko in person na. Tapos required yung vaccine. Kasi lahat naman may access to the vaccine. Even yung testing dito, lahat libre. Makukuha mo in 30 minutes.
Even if you're not
Sobrang
a
iba
US
talaga.
citizen.
Oo, kahit wala kang insurance, parang hindi ka nila pwede paalisin. So naalala ko nung bumalik ako, parang ako, oh my God, hindi na lang ako lalabas para hindi ako magpa-test. But papasok ka lang ng parang, yung mga mini clinics, tapos libre na siya. So, nakakalungkot kapag kino-compare mo kung ano yung nangyari dito versus sa Manila.
Nakakalungkot kasi parang in theory, kaya naman eh. 'Di ba? Parang kaya eh. Kaya mas nakakalungkot siya for me. Kasi kaya eh.
Yeah.
Kaya yan.
Actually,
Yeah.
we'd like to go into the the meat.
What we've been beating around the bush about.
Ito. So, just to share with you, and I told VP Leni, your mom, this when she was on the pod. I told her there was a time that at the height of the pandemic, I shut off Twitter and I created a Twitter account which only followed her and NBA news. The 2 accounts. So that was it.
It's for your mental health.
It was for my mental health talaga. So siguro my first question is
What are your thoughts on the NBA? Charot. Anong team nyo?
my question is how has it been since the announcement? Did you guys know? Honestly, did you guys know that she was or were you all anong gagawin ni mama? Ganon.
Sige, ako muna. I think I think slowly because medyo up to date. Meron kaming kumbaga general idea kung ano yung nangyayari sa meetings niya. Parang not super detailed but parang alam namin sino ka-meeting niya today, sino yung minute niya last week, whether successful or hindi. So I guess leading to the week of the announcement or leading to the time when she had to make the decision, parang kami more or less, parang alam mo parang writing on the wall na because updated ka and then, alam mo parang put 2 and 2 together, medyo may idea ka how it's gonna end. And sa amin parang hindi niya explicitly sinabi na yun yung decision niya. It was just something that we all figured out and assumed. Kasi because updated ka nga, parang masisense mo naman. And I think like kaming tatlo, siguro isa na rin yun sa pag-manage namin na aming mga sarili. Kasi nung 6 years ago, when she was thinking if she will run for the VP position, para siyang biglaan for us, which I felt was a lot more difficult to process. Kasi parang sinabi niya today, kailangan niya mag-decide in a few days, and then boom, yun na. Versus ito, para siyang slow burn na nasubaybayan mo for months. And so when it came to a point where when she had to make the decision, hindi na siya sobrang nakakagulat, at least sa aming tatlo.
How about Tricia and Jill?
Well, kasi Jillian doesn't live with us. Nasa States siya. Kami ni ate yung magkasama. And I think mas gulat, mas nakagulat siya for Jillian than me and Ate Ike's. Kasi ano naman open yung lines of communication namin at home. So, whether it be politics or something else, lagi kaming updated sa buhay ng isa't isa. So, yung sinabi nga ni Ate Ike's kanina, yung nag-unity talks yung mom ko, etc. We were very updated and we tried our best to update Jillian, but it's difficult pa rin syempre na hindi in person, 'di ba? Na Telegram or whatever mo lang siya sabihin. But then ayun, hindi siya nakagulat for us eh. Syempre it was something we hope na hindi mangyari. Kami talaga, in all honesty, ayaw na namin.
Why?
Pero tahimik na buhay na talaga is the goal. And nakita naman namin since namatay si Papa, hindi talaga nakapahinga si Mama. It was really tuloy-tuloy for her. We lost Papa August 2012. October 2012, nag-file na si Mama for Congress, for candidacy for Congress. I don't think she was given enough time to breathe and enough time to try to recuperate from what happened. I think okay siya in a sense na busy si Mama. So, I mean, she's not one to be so emotional naman, but her being very busy at the time, wala siyang ibang panahon to solve on her emotions, etc. Not like she does. But I think nakatulong na naging busy siya. Parang productive use of yung energy, whatever energy yung nangyari after the crash. Pero ayun, parang we all felt, the three of us felt, it was time for her to find her peace back, to recover from everything. Tapos gusto na namin din siya masolo for a time. Ang tagal na namin siya hindi nakakasama na kami lang. Pero I think, ayun, hindi ko alam kung dahil sa edad din namin ni Ate Ike's na tumanda na rin kami compared to nung tumakbo siya nung VP na medyo resistant pa talaga kami. I mean, we're still resistant now, but we understood kasi the circumstance now, we understand what's at stake. So, yun, sinabi niya nga, it wasn't as difficult as it used to be. Hindi ko lang alam how it is for Jillian. Siyempre,
You were 16, di ba, Jill? When she ran? You were only 16.
I was 15.
Okay.
I was 15. Yeah, so 2015 siya nag-file. Well, I think nung VP for me, alam mo parang medyo hindi mo pa alam kung ano yung meaning ng pagiging VP. So ako parang, okay, like, mag-run ulit siya, campaign ulit, okay, chill lang. Alam mo yun, parang ganon. Until dumating na lahat ng fake news, etc., etc. Tapos nakikita mo na ang daming bashers. I think kasi nung Congress siya, alam mo yun, parang hindi naman siya ganun kakilala. So, konti din lang yung nagbabash sa kanya. And ako, na-hurt talaga ako pag may nagbabash kay Mama before. Kasi parang, alam ko kung, kasi mama ko yan parang, alam ko kung ano yung ginagawa niya and alam kong mali yung mga bashers. So I think before sobrang na-hurt ako until, alam mo yun, I think habang mas tumatagal kami in the national campaign trail nung 2015 to 2016, mas nasasanay ka na lang to block off the noise. Especially after naging VP siya, mas lumala with all the protests. Tapos, syempre ngayon, for the past 5 years, super opposition pa siya. So, nasanay na. I think kami ng mga sisters ko nadamay na rin kami sa lahat ng, pati kami nababash. So, at this point, parang wala na rin kaming pakialam. But I think for me lang, yung pag-run niya for president, para sa akin, I think ako yung pinaka-against it. Kasi, yun nga, since 12 ako, so nag-file si Mama for Congress, 12 years old ako. For 2 years kami lang ni Mama magkasama in Naga. So parang feeling ko, alam mo, parang ang laki ng nakuha or ang laki ng nawala sa akin na oras ni Mama for like selfish reasons. So I think, ngayon lang na parang in my head, gagraduate ako, tapos Pagkatapos, tapos na yun si mama with the term, makakabakasyon kami. Alam mo yun, parang makabonding na kami after 10, almost 10 years. So I think ako yung may pinakamalaking objection versus like her running for the presidency. And I think then, sa akin pinakamahirap between the three of us kasi malayo ako. So naalala ko pa one day nung medyo na-finalize niya na she was running. As in, nasa Zoom call kaming apat. So siguro for a week, like kung tinetext yung two sisters ko na parang, oh guys, mag-aaral ako sa gabi. Anong ginagawa niyo? Nagtatrabaho ba kayo? Pwede ba tayo mag-Zoom? So minsan naka-open lang yung Zoom ko tapos wala. Like, ko lang nagsasalita pero nag-aaral lang ako. So I think may one day na parang sabi ko, guys, ang hirap kasi andito ako, like ang layo ko. It's not like pwede ko rin sabihin to other people around me. Kasi parang, I think mahirap, parang ayoko naman ikala, parang, oh my God, guys, si nanay ko tatakbo ng president. Parang hindi naman yun ganun eh. So wala talaga akong ibang makausap, kundi yung two sisters ko and si mama. So I think leading up towards that day, so, alam mo parang mahirap for me kasi ang dami rin nagtatanong parang, oh, ano nang gagawin niya? Mag-run na ba siya? And ako parang, hindi ko talaga alam, guys. Pero alam mo parang 2 days before, alam mo na. Pero syempre, ikaw parang, hintayin niyo na lang.
Wow, that was a big secret to keep.
Actually, yung ano din, before I have another question, pero I have, just to clarify, no? In the VP elections, how many candidates did you vote for president? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, just
how many? How many? Ilan ang?
Hindi ba ako botante nun?
But you knew, but you didn't know na isa lang. Kahit hindi ka registered. Okay. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. Okay. Ako naman, ang big question ko is, pwede kong makuha yung Zoom link na yon? Pwede ba ako mag-join? Yung nakabukas lang?
O yung Robredo sister ka?
Yung Robredo sister. Sobrang loser. Sorry.
So ako naman, like, just to share, kami ni Saab, like, so si Saab was crying when
sorry, sorry to cut you off, but FYI, hindi ako Robredo daughter, but just the same as you guys, na feel ko, alam ko tatakbo siya. Alam ko talaga, confident ako. Sabi ko, tatakbo yan. Hindi ko siya pinapressure ever. Kung if I ever tweeted or ano, hindi ko siya tinatag.
And you even said this, sabi ni Sab sa akin, ganito siya sabi niya, if she doesn't run, whoever she endorses, I'm gonna vote for.
Yes, that's how full my confidence was in this beautiful human being. Sobrang. But she really is. She's someone I look up to so much, and for ang bihira lang yun eh. Diba? Someone to run in for government office na you actually really respect. It's usually nga parang lesser
Sige
evil.
Na
parang I guess mas okay na yan. And then so ako parang nakikita ko kasi yung values niya. And talking to you guys, before I even talk to you today, I see how you are, how you carry yourselves, and it says so much about how she is as a mother and how she is as an example. And I think having a good role model in that position would be great for all Filipinos. Diba?
So,
yun. Sinasabi ko lang na alam ko tatakbo siya. But even if alam ko tatakbo siya, when she actually announced it, sobra akong like, mag-isa ako dun sa room kasi si Jim was in a meeting and I was like, I can't believe may meeting siya ngayon. I cannot believe it. So, silip-silip ako sa office. Silip-silip ako. Nakailan ako, diba? Parang, Jim. Parang malapit na siya mag-announce. Parang mag-11 na. And I think parang
wala.
Nawala sa ano mo. And then, finally, he came out. And then, I said, oh my God, sinabi na niya.
Ako, I watched it like 30 minutes after kasi I have a standing desk. So, I don't know why I had to say that. Pero, I was on my standing desk. I was watching it. And I suddenly had the urge to play Carly Rae Jepsen. Jepsen. Because I have been sharing with them that I'm a late fan. And I just played
Run Away With Me.
Yes. And I was dancing.
Yeah.
Alone. It was in the morning.
It was a celebration.
Yeah. So, now, I guess from the high of our social media feeds. Like kami ni Sabi, we're talking about it eh. Um, parang
The pink explosion.
the pink explosion, like and sabi ko kay Sabi, parang maybe this is an echo chamber. Maybe this is our echo chamber, and like for everyone else, it's like um Ford Expedition inuman with red. Diba? I mean, or it's like bro, may bago akong Hendrix na binili ko sa whatever.
What are you talking about?
The
Yung feed
the
nila?
feed of the
The other side.
yung feed natin is pink, unity, and theirs is probably like
Manyanita vibes.
grabe may bago akong gin na nabili. So whatever. So my question is, now that I think the thing is with parang our hope is, yes, we are in the minority. We are currently parang kumbaga like kasi the voters of in the DE sector make up 80%, 85%.
Is that correct?
Actually, not sure, but I think so. Yung D ba yung malaki more than E, no? Pero yeah, malaking chunk din yung D&D.
And I think yung counter argument namin ni Sab to people who say na paano tayo mananalo to? Parang, 'di ba? Parang so our counter argument is yes, but just imagine the upper and middle class and the amount of influence they have for different, like their leaders of organizations, their leaders of ano. And that influence is something that cannot be easily quantified. So, ang point ko is, because those who are supporting Leni are more critical and more, kumbaga, they're putting all their hopes on her, diba? So now, right now, there will be ups and downs, Parang what would you say to, parang how do you convince voters who are like, alanganin nga, because nga, sobrang sama na ng tingin nila sa gobyerno, di ba?
Because they're jaded.
Yeah, the parang no one is good. Parang what if they're still there? They're not like us, like all pink. Like what if they're like on the fence, di ba? They don't know what would you say, like right now? It's so easy kasi to be swayed eh. Like right? When the pink explosion happened, everyone was like, "Oh, I'm gonna vote for Leni." And then biglang some guy on Twitter, "Oh, I don't like the slate. She is doing this."
Yeah.
Pag ano yung parang ano yung sasabi, like
Ang mahirap kasi ngayon, I think what you're trying to say is the hard thing about now with social media is sometimes when we feel a little lost, we go on Twitter to check what am I supposed to be feeling right now? And then you go read it and then parang oo nga no, parang that makes sense. I guess I feel that way. Parang ganun, nangyayari is you're easily swayed because you do feel so lost. And the hard thing is, it depends on who you're following. And right now, because people who are for Leni are very critical and very, medyo sometimes overboard. And we lose sight of the bigger picture. Now, what can you say? Ako, yung ko is, some people will say now, what makes her different from all the other presidents in the past? How can I know that she will not just be another puppet, or they would say uto-uto, yung ibang presidents before, and being controlled by other people? How can you say that she's different?
Walang nag-unmute sa mga kapatid ko. I guess ako papaunahin nila mas madaya tong dalawa pag mahirap.
Sorry, we didn't mean to put you on the spot. I mean, I think it's just really important to hear from you guys, and syempre our listeners majority of them are but they are like going back and forth. So maganda to hear from. Yeah.
I think medyo several things maybe to unpack dun sa sinabi nyo. First of all, hindi naman. Hindi kasi like kaming tatlo kasi, I think over time, I think we've learned how to disconnect from Twitter, from Facebook. Especially pag ina-anticipate namin na this is probably a decision na malamang marami maging critical of her. So parang para siyang medyo switch na sa aming tatlo na pag ina-anticipate pa na either you don't go online or pag nag-online ka, parang mentally ready ka dun sa mga what you may read na what they say about our mom. Siguro secondly, I think then kaming tatlo rin, we're always very conscious when we campaign for her. Kasi syempre, people will say na pag nanggaling sa mga anak, bias talaga yan kasi mga anak na yan. So parang tingin ko actually yung most effective, hindi naman most effective, siguro yung best way for us to sort of introduce her or to tell people about her is to tell them about personal stories that we have of her. Especially dun sa side na probably other people don't know yet about her. And also encouraging, especially those within our circle, to do the same. Kasi pa yung feeling namin, credible or mas paniniwalaan siguro pag manggaling siya from someone na hindi ka mag-anak or from someone na hindi niya kaano-ano. But at least from our end, we just really go to the basics. Parang kahit yung experience namin sa kanya is more of as a mother rather than say a public official. Tingin ko at the very core of it may consistency yung kung paano siya sa amin inside the house and how she's been running her office for the past couple of years. So I think those personal accounts really help. Pero yung online world talaga medyo toxic talaga siya. Medyo, paano ba? Kami kasi siguro since 2015, 2016, parang it's something we sort of had to learn to maintain some sort of sanity rin, not to be affected by what people say about her online. What's really important for us, alam, siguro, yun nga, unfair na sabihin to, but alam kasi namin kung ano yung totoo or ano yung reasons behind some of the decisions that she made na syempre hindi naman niya pwede i-elaborate in detail kasi for many reasons. But ewan ko yung sisters ko, baka may iba silang madadagdag.
Ang hirap actually to comment on this topic, no? Kasi yun nga sabi ni Ate Ike is syempre if it comes from us, it's biased. Pero kasi kami nakikita talaga namin how hard she works and what she's been doing. And honestly, feeling ko yun din yung naging pagkukulang siguro ng camp niya or ng office niya for the past couple of years. When you ask people why they don't like Leni, they say it's because wala naman siyang ginawa eh. When in fact, we see day in and day out, ang dami niyang ginagawa. For example, nag-volunteer ako dun sa COVID efforts ng office niya the past couple of months. And it's been really toxic. Yun yung natutulog kami at 2 in the morning, only to wake up at 5 in the morning din kasi may emergency. And believe it or not, si mama yung last one na natutulog, yung unang nagigising. And, diba, parang, those are things na hindi nakikita ng mga tao eh. And the most we can do really is to share our experiences. Ako ngayon, may experience ako with her sa work. Pero yung katulad ng sinabi ni ate, experiences with mama, as our mama, na grabe siya gumawa ng outlines namin growing up. She was such a tiger mom. Lahat ng notes namin color-coded kasi gusto niya may binabasa na kami pagbalik. Tapos gusto niya perfect namin yung mga tests. So, sobrang involved niya talaga na to a point na feeling ko din na-spice naming magkakapatid growing up kasi ang strict niya masyado. Na parang she expects nothing less than your best kapag, whether it be sa sports, sa school, dapat talaga top 1 ka lagi eh. Parang papaliwanag ka pa sometimes kung bakit hindi. Especially kung nakikita niya na kaya mo naman. Personal life namin, for example, I'll be very candid about it. Yung mga first heartbreaks namin. My mom's not one to be very emotional. Hindi siya nag-indulge, in other words. Pero kung nakikita niyang nahihirapan ka, malungkot ka, tahimik lang siya, pero hindi siya matutulog hanggang makatulog ka. Yung mga ganong kwento, na probably hindi nakikita ng mga tao, ano naman sinasabi niya about her as a leader. Pero nakikita mo talaga na yung puso niya for whoever she cares about is there. And that's something I wish more people would see. Pero syempre, ang hirap eh. Hindi naman namin kayang tatlo. That's something na hindi namin kayang kami lang yung gumawa. So that's something we hope people would would help us with. Whatever experiences they had with my mom in the past, whether it be personal, whether it be professional. Sana tulungan kami mag-share nun sa ibang tao para malaman din nila na hindi siya walang ginagawa and makilala siya more as a person. Siguro second point yung sa social media. Addressing the elephant in the room. Nung naglabas si Mama, yung alam namin the day na ilalabas niya yung Senate slate, I think hindi talaga kami nag-open ng social media na magkakapatid. We knew a lot of people would probably have questions about it. Alam namin may mga madidisappoint. I wish I could explain what went on, but truthfully, hindi ko naman alam talaga kung ano yung kompletong nangyari. And of course, there are things that you can't divulge. Pero yung sinasabi ko na lang whenever people ask is, alam ko at the end of the day, my mom's, yung values ng moms ko very strong pa rin. Nainiwala ako na whatever decision or whatever had to come into play, bigger picture in mind pa rin siya at the end of the day. I wish I could explain more, but of
I
course
completely
can't.
understand that.
Yeah. Pero ayun, bigger picture talaga tayo ngayon. Ang daming at stake ngayong election na to. And honestly, kaming tatlo, naintindihan namin kung bakit ganun yung nangyari. So, ayun. Pero, baka may masabi pa ako. Pero yun yung basic gist niya, no? Na parang mas bigger picture talaga yung nakikita at the end of the day. And the assurance siguro na yung mom ko, hindi naman siya pagsasabihan, hindi siya papakontrol kahit kanino. Kung kilala niyo lang nanay ko, she's not the type of person. She's her own person. And I think that's why narating niya yung mga narating niya kasi decisions are made on her own, etc. Pero yun, yung sa social media talaga, kaming tatlo, we found we managed it na eh. Talagang pag alam namin na may puputok na baka hindi maganda, sige, iwas muna tayo. Or for example, sa bahay may nakitang article si Ate Aika sa gusto niyang i-share sa family group. Sabihan ko siya, pwede bang huwag na? Kasi or for example, there are things na ayaw na namin makita ni Jillian kasi feeling namin it would cause unnecessary stress. Pag-uusapan na lang namin. Kasi very protective pa rin naman kami of Jillian. And I am pretty sure sana naman very protective din sa akin si ate. Na-feel ko naman yun. So, yung mga bagay na pakiramdam niya would cause me unnecessary emotions. Sila lang nag-uusap ni Mama about it. So, talagang wala. Dahil kaming apat naman yun nandito, talagang protect each other na lang kami at all costs. So, buhay pa naman kami and I think sane pa naman kami kahit papano. So, I think it's working. More or less. But, ayun, siguro si Jillian din may added input being the bunso of the family, how she handles.
Yeah, especially because you're far away right now. So how are you dealing with everything?
Well, okay, first of all, sana Ate Trish may na-convince ka na bumoto kay Mama based sa kwento mo kanina.
Yes!
So, pag kailangan ko magsalita sa campaign period, gagamitin ko yung mga sinabi ko. But anyway, I think ako like focusing lang on social media. I think ako magaling, wow. Parang dami kong bashers eh. Pero I think mas medyo na-draw na naman yung line between, ito nga, like, okay, when yung maglalabas na ng Senate slate, alam kong maraming maging critical. And I think even kaming magkakapatid or even ako, may mga questions kami to our mom na sana nga, na alam mo yun, parang ayoko nang i-discuss din here. But may mga questions rin kami, especially nung sinabi sa akin, ako parang, okay, sige. So may mga questions rin ako and understandable na maraming tao na maging critical din about it. So yun, parang, especially ako, I think, yung circle ko or yung medyo age ko, mas on that side. I think kasi kami ng sisters ko magkakaibang generation-ish kami. So I think yung age ko mas, bakit Ate Ikes? Ilang taon ka na?
Ako ka-generation mo ko, Jill. So gets kita dyan.
So, parang super active on social media and especially may mga friends naman ako na critical rin. Which minsan okay na ganun yung circle mo. So minsan pag may makita kang valid criticisms, ako parang, baka okay to na i-take into account. So, isa-send mo, yun nga, sabi ni Ate Tricia, isa-send mo sa family group chat. Kung may comment, kung may medyo hindi ganun kagandang comment na alam mong constructive naman, isa-send mo. I think important yun, especially now. hindi naman okay na lagi mo lang pinipraise
Yes.
si Leni na parang, lahat ng ginagawa niya tama. Na parang at some point, pag hindi ka ganun ka-satisfied or in your head may questionable decisions, parang feeling ko may extent na okay siya i-voice out. But yun nga, sabi nga ng sisters ko, kilala namin si mama. And ako talaga, may trust ako sa kung anong gut feel niya sa ginagawa niya. Especially for the last 6 years. Alam ko naman na, yun nga, yung values niya intact. And, alam mo yun, parang alam kong hindi siya madaling masway. Parang even kami, pag may gusto kaming puntahan, pero alam niya parang, okay, hindi yan safe or something, or I don't know, parang pag may gusto kaming gawin, parang si mama pag sinabi niyang hindi, alam mong hindi. So, alam mo yun, parang, and bihira siya, honestly, hindi siya ganun ka-strict as a parent. So, super chill niya, parang, mama, pwede ba ako pumunta dito? Like, pwede ba ako mag-mall or something? So, parang super chill niya about it. So, minsan talaga pag nagsasabi siyang hindi, alam mong, okay, may dahilan siya for it and valid yun. So, I think, nag-carry over lang yun to these kinds of situations.
Well, ako, can I just share as a Robredo sister? Charot. Parang, ganun rin kasi yung basa ko. Kaya, I see a lot of people saying a lot of stuff, right, on social media. Ako, so definitely I was not, and I will be frank about it. Of course, I'm not happy about the complete senatorial slate. But then, hindi mo pwedeng, well, ako personally, parang I don't want to say anything right away or voice. Parang you have to think before you publish anything Especially yung opinions ng lahat ng tao, even if you're not an influencer per se, but because nga it sways people so easily right now, because nga a lot of people, especially in this pandemic, with our mental health pandemic also, it's so easy to get swayed. So I had to really think about it na, wait lang, may value ba kung punahin ko to right away or isipin ko, tas naalala ko nga na there's a reason why I said na if VP Leni will not run, whoever she says, I will trust, because I really, really see the values she has, and it's very in line with my own. And I know that she will not, parang I just have so much belief in her. Kaya I see na there's a reason for this. And I will not follow blindly if there is something wrong. But right now, bigger picture ako, I want VP Leni to win.
And I think one thing that we wanna clarify is, yes, parang as opposed to, parang JJJ. Parang hindi kami, we're not parang si Leni can kill people, it's fine. Parang we're not that, parang we will be critical, but I think maganda yung point ni Saab na parang right now it's such a critical time.
Yes.
It's such a critical time, and it's parang it's such a na parang let's try to parang
tama na muna yung mga clout. Parang pag sinabi ko to, marami mag-like nito, game. Press, send.
Pero
parang okay, talino mo.
Pero I don't want to I think based on what kaya nga yung what I like from what Jill said is that parang open it up for proper discourse.
Yes.
I mean, which is very different from how how our feed has been the past ilang years. Na there's no discourse. It's just black and white. It's yellow or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Nagagets ko rin naman yung ibang tao na they don't have direct parang kumara tayo, we can get the Robredo Sisters on the podcast.
Pero which is why just to support rin what you guys are saying na just like parang the world is so different now na I think na just like how a brand is na personal connection through stories of people who are personally connected actually has more value. And like I really love this conversation because like I'm so excited to share this because I'm sure just listening to you guys talk about your accomplishments alone, I think that's a good, parang for me, mas magaganahan sila. Oh my God, nga pala. Like alam mo yun, parang
look at what Leni did.
parang ganon. Yeah, so ikaw, do you have any I know that you guys don't have much time and thank you for spending
Thank you so much.
your morning with us.
I just want to keep you here forever. So
I think I'll add a bit then to what Jillian said, no? Especially regarding the Senate slate. Because I think a lot of people talaga want to
Yes, please.
understand. I think, for example, sinabi ni Jillian na yung nag-share kami ng comments kay mama ng mga nakikita namin that aren't necessarily on her side, yung mas questioning her decisions. The fact siguro that we can bring it up to her without getting scared, nasasabihin niya, wag niyo yan pansinin, or whatever. For example, the fact that we can bring these things up with her, tas nakikinig siya. I think that's an indication alone na makikinig talaga siya sa whoever's critical of her. Na parang welcome siya to hear what you have to say. For example, maraming statement si Mama in the past na pati kaming mga magkakapatid sometimes we question. And that's something we actually take up at home. Na parang, Ma, ba't mo ito sinabi? Ano yung reason behind this? And then she tries to explain her side. And when we still don't really agree, pinag-uusapan namin siya sa bahay. And she's okay to listen to those perspectives. And kung pakiramdam niya na may pagkukulang siya sa pag-understand ng certain things, she really tries to understand things from how we see it. And from there, she forms her opinion talaga. So I think yun yung nagkulang din sa atin the past couple of years, yung pakiramdam natin hindi tayo pinapakinggan. And that's something, parang proud ako na yung nanay ko nakikinig talaga, na hindi kami natatakot i-bring up yung mga gantong bagay sa kanya. And I think yung sa Senate stage, for example, my mom knows na hindi yun yung popular opinion, or a lot of people would criticize her for that, or ka-questionin talaga siya, but she still did it. Parang hindi siya lagi sa popular opinion. Para sa kanya, gagawin niya kung ano sa tingin niya tama, and gagawin niya kung ano sa tingin niya makakabuti. So, ganun siya din sa bahay, na parang a lot of times, alam niya yung mga anak niya, kaiinisan yung way of yung parenting style niya, kasi hindi namin naiintindihan at the time. But as we grew older, we understood. And I hope that's something that we all get to achieve somewhere down the road. Like, we understand the choices that she made in the past. And ayun, yun lang yung gusto ko sanang i-add. Kasi I think, hindi ko yun nasabi. Gusto niyo yung bunso pa namin yung naka-extract na sa kanya.
Oo nga eh.
Yes.
Well.
Pero ayun, yun talaga. Ayun, yun din yung gusto ko sigurong i-point out, na baka meron din sila pwede madagdag, na growing up with my mom, makita namin na naikinig talaga siya, and our opinions matter. And yun din yung gusto namin sabihin, that we don't agree with her all the time, but then na-realize talaga namin without fail, years down the road, months down the road, na yung mga ginagawa niya for us, it makes sense. It wasn't popular at the time na ginawa niya yun, pero it paid off eventually. So, ayun. May add pa ba kayo? Sorry, ang dami ko atang
I super appreciate that. And actually, from that, I think I have to share in my realization na, yun nga, I think, especially for the younger generation, it's a great thing to be idealistic. Diba? Na parang, this is what dapat ito eh. Kasi ito lang dapat talaga eh. Ganyan. So, I understand that. I love that in the generation today. But the thing is, there are, in our Karen Davila podcast weeks ago, she did say na, some of us think, but parang we grow up thinking that the world is really in black and white, but then we realize that a lot of it talaga is gray, and you have to know what black and white are, what good and bad is. So
you can navigate your way around the gray.
Yes. So,
yeah.
Yun lang.
And ako, my last thing is number one, kasi we only have, we'll wrap up in 30 minutes. 2
hours.
We'll wrap up. Number one, Jill, hindi naman certificate of completion yung habol mo dyan, no? No, I'm just asking.
Bachelor's degree.
I'm just asking. Like, wala namang, I assume wala namang Leni Robredo building.
Scholar ka ba talaga?
Wala namang, hindi naman magkakaroon ng Leni Robredo building.
Wala kami.
Okay, for a completion, no? You're really gonna, okay. Okay, that's number one. Number two, um, I just want to say that if you are considering labo, hindi mamaya na. Baka naman madamay pa sila sa political
Huwag ka nang
statement.
mag-ano kung ano-ano mga
I'm
sinasabi mo.
masyado na ata akong caffeinated.
I just want to say that if you girls are a representation of the future of Filipinos, Filipinas, I think I have so much hope in our future.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you for coming on, and have a good morning and a good night.